Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. I have a little surprise today. My Harmonious pencils coming from California all the way to Florida are now coming Thursday by the end of the day, and that's when I would normally be coloring the second day in big Romantic Country. So yesterday I colored in Romantic Country, and here I am back again. Surprise! I'm going to color in Romantic Country again. We're going to get the baseline on these library books. So I have a couple of different sets. I'm going to keep with a limited palette. I don't want to have crazy colors all over the place. I'm thinking more of a formal sort of a library. So I have some gold coloring that I'm going to put on the backs of some, and then I have some silver, which is actually going to be cold gray. So I have yellow ochre, 1066, goldenrod, 1069, then from to tie in a little bit with the fireplace, which we did brass accents, I have the same old gold 5430, hard to read, and antique brass 5444. And I will be coloring in chunks today because I have this doctor appointment right in the middle of everything. So I'll probably be just doing 15 minutes or so of coloring. And so I am just going to go around and again, it's the art of being random. Randomly not random. So I'm just adding in some golds here and there. Then I'll pick up silver and I'll pop in some silver here and there. And from there, I will go to browns. And I'm guessing that I won't get to browns until later. Probably after I get back from the doctor. I would love to have this finished up for the most part, so that maybe I'm doing a little bit after a coloring class, but not a lot. Because this is all tiny stuff that I can get interrupted and come back. And I've explored some different color schemes, so I think I have a good idea. And I don't even mind this. This right here is the old gold brass, which is a different, that's the old gold. It has a less shiny look, and you know, some of these books are going to have aged differently than other books on the shelf. So I'm just trying to throw in some colors here and there. And we will see as we get closer. I've already made my little highlight, the glow from the candle, so that I don't forget. There's a couple of places where we have repeat. These three books I kind of think of as a set, and she hasn't done it a lot, but then there's also, this is a volume 1 and a volume 2. I love it. They're going they're out of order. So we are just going to be adding some different color tones, just kind of all over the place. Again, I am trying not to overthink it. We've got some jars on the top, which are great. Can't wait to play with those. And then, but going back to what I'm working on in Small Victories, the next page after I play with the Harmonious will be, I'm grabbing a silver-ish. This is warm gray. I'm going to grab now this is very light. This is 20% cool gray. these aren't really even dark enough for me to see. Try to find some silver spots. Put some silver here. This is a funky colored book. So some of these longer it's almost like they're binders maybe. I still have all the golds in my hand, but I am going to snag a 50% cool gray. I have got a rough color scheme idea. We're getting down to the, oops, you can't even see that. Here's the light source. And so you've missed me blocking in a couple of colors here. All right, so I've got some silver, got some gold, and got some brass. Now I have two dark colors, two dark browns. Rotate this around. I'm gonna set down my sets of brass and gold. I will be coming back to them. Dark umber and burnt umber. Dark umber being the darkest. And I am going to be making dark shadows in some of these books. Some of them are behind and nestled back. They're smaller, they're maybe not, they're back pushed further into the shelf. So that's the effect I am after. Some of these books have a section that's going to be a different color. So I'm going to just go through and block some of these browns in, the darker books being recessed. It's a special art to be somewhat random. This one was a silver, but I am going to have it still be a brown. And I want the back spines to be curved looking. Now we're into the glow area. Moving up now. I think there we go. I just want to make sure that you can see got some big books here. The idea of randomly moving around is so that I don't have to swap pencils as often. You could certainly decide that I am going to treat each one of these books as its own individual thing, but I would just caution that if you're going to do that, have a really good game plan. I'm trying to see all of the shelving as like one thing, and then I'm just kind of filling in spots, and I'm trying not to make the sides of the books to be the same depth of shadow. Some have a thicker shadow, some have a thinner shadow. This one I'm not having as lined looking. I'll add some more color to that. It's a big enough book to have some interest to it. Alright, so just a few more minutes of the starting, and I will be heading out. But of course to you it will just be a mere moment. So this is a little bit more red-brown. This is the burnt umber. All right, so that's the start of the books. I will be coming back. We will be doing some more. And again, you will just see me gone for a mere moment. See, I could just keep going and going and going. See, it was like I wasn't even gone. So this was a little rough over here. So I'm cleaning that up. The others seem to be pretty smooth. I was working, before I left, on the two browns, getting in some of the books that I want to be recessed more. So I've got, again, dark umber, 6201, and 6089, 606, 6099, burnt umber are the two that I was playing with. So I will continue on. The dark umber, I also, oops, sorry, that was one of the pencils hitting the camera. I do have Van Dyke Brown is another dark. I saw it. And then we have light umber that I'm going to put in my hand for some lighter tones. I don't need all of the books to look the same. They don't have to be all matchy-matchy. And then I do have 2 actual colors that I want to use, but not yet. So this is what a light toned book using the light umber, and it has silver on the lines. Over on this side, I don't see a lot of gold on this row. So let's grab a little bit of gold. I think I might see a little gold in there. All right, so now I still need to find the Van Dyke. It might not be on this. I separated the pencils into 2 Lazy Susans. I pulled out a 70% cool gray. I remember this was going to be a gray. I grabbed that thinking it might be the Van Dyke, and it is not. Okay, so back to dark umber. All right, so what have I got here? This is the burnt umber. So this is a little more reddish toned. I am now going to pick up one of my colors. Nope, that's the warm gray again. The first color that I am going to grab is indigo blue, and I want this particular book with the silver on the spine. And indigo is not as dark as I would have thought it would be, so I do have to grab some gray. So there's that one. And then we're going to move down a little bit for you. I've got, let's make this one. This is a gold. I don't want only silver to be blue. And again, I am opting, since this is my first full-size coloring page, I am so far opting to kind of go light. And then in the end, I know I'll have to bring all these pencils back out. Luckily with the bookcase, I can probably just, at the end, when I see how the tones are looking, I can probably just grab the darkest brown and the darkest gray and just knock back some of the tones. Let's make sure you can see that. Yep, you can see that. All right, so we've got a little bit of blue, but not too much blue. I think I would like, I'm going to do one more book, maybe this one. All right, now, what have I got here? This is a warm gray, 20%. I don't know how many light gray books that I want. This could be a, it's not even dark enough. So 20% warm is not going to show up. Hub is stirring, I see. So I will have to come back. I can't even really see anything interesting. Okay, so we'll just put that away. I do have some, I still have the 3 dark browns. I'm gonna set them down because I'm kind of liking the balance so far. I've got these 2. These are just some light colors. We've got a camel and dark salmon, 607, I can't read that last number. Yeah, they'll be on the description. I will put all of my book tones up, but I will probably use these like you're seeing here where the edges are already darkened, and I'm using these to just give it that rounded look with a little bit lighter tone so that they all aren't dark. So this is salmon colored, and then here is camel. And I will be coming in to darken the in-betweens. Okay, I just put away the camel and grabbed it again. Okay. Now over here we have our candlelit bookends. And I haven't even done the top. I'm probably going to save the top. That's where I'm going to do the jars. Going back to some darks. Hub is stirring, so he might make an appearance. I am doing this last little segment here right before the coloring group meets up. Okay, so let's make sure that you can see. And then I do have that struggle, it is real, with the spine. There's this air gap. I suppose I could put something underneath to take up that gap so it will be flat. There are some real challenges. I have a clipboard, but I think it's 15 by 18 maybe. And so it is not big enough for this whole book to sit on. So the book is like just hanging off the end. All right, I'm going to grab a different tone because I see this book right here needs some color. I was toying with, do I want to work on the bookshelf or do I want to work on the wall? And I thought that I would move to a different part of the page completely for today. Nice. Okay, so you'll notice I have 3 books left. I have one color tone that I would like to use for at least one of those. I've got 2 greens, Army Green and Chromium Oxide Green, and then I do have the brass. That brass is actually sort of olivey, so I do not want the green next to the blue, so it's not going to be that one and it can't be that one. That means the green has to be here. And I will probably come back with a gray. I don't want it to be so bright. I could, this is the Army Green. Okay, so that's a green. And I would like to do, I think, this horizontal one. Would love to be green, but I want to start with the chromium oxide. And then, or is it, yeah, and this is Army. All right. Okay, so on the next row down, I have a blue way over here, and I see I have these 2 and these 3. I'm going to group them somehow together. So I think over here in this corner of the world, with a little bit of lamp candlelight, I guess, that will be green. I like that balance so far. And somewhere back here, that's just army, isn't it? I have to be careful because there's green and I don't want to do that one. This one is already gray, so that's perfect. Okay, so then there's that green one. And see, I remember when you get engrossed in one little section that you need to step back and take a look at what the overall, the whole area is looking like. I am going to grab, this is the brass that actually can double as a tan. And I do have, I don't want to do a lot of this, but I have 3 of the red tones. This is mauvish. It's called Mars Brown. I can't read that number at all. 6095 maybe? So I think that right here, and I will, you know, I'm kind of far away, so I will probably go back through and clean all of these up. I have, what's this one? Sienna. This should be a orangey brown, a little bit more vibrant. Okay, I like that. Okay. What do we have left? Let's do this horizontal one. Okay. I picked up burnt ochre as another tone. Here's a book that has silver edging on it. Silver lettering, silver trim. Okay. I have only one bookcase or book here, and I'm going to wait till I color these images to decide what that end book color will be. I have one book up here. These have all been colored, and I still have my volume 1 and volume 2 backwards, and these 3. I think I'm going to just go for volume 2 and 1 to be burnt ochre. It's pretty orangey, and I will be able to come back in and darken up the edges. Burnt umber, bringing in some darks. These little end bits I will have to come in and finish off. What have I got here? 50% warm gray. Let's see what this set of 3 might want to look like. Boy, I have a tickle in my throat. All right. I am going to go one darker, if I have a darker. This is 70% cool gray, where that was just warm gray. And I have just had no problems using them interchangeably, kind of mixing the tones. That's what I ended up doing on the fireplace insert. I didn't like the one tone that I went with, and so I mixed in some of the other and was happy with them commingling. Let's do a little bit of a light book. And maybe I have, is this the burnt ochre? I think I already did this warm tone with the salmon, maybe? And picking back up one of the darks, dark umber. And I do want this up here, this book. All right, back to this side of the chair. We have this big, big book. And I do want, keep hitting that, I do want there to be a glint of gold on that text like that. Okay, so I think I am feeling pretty good about the base colors of all of these books, and let's take this dark umber and I want to start darkening in between. So we get some depth going. So I'll have the pictures. I'll probably do these two pictures when I do the wall art. Kind of have them with some similar color tones. I think these two books have not technically been colored yet. Alrighty. Wow, there we go. There's I have not done the very top. I'll do that with the glass. This one is pretty rough. I'm okay with it being pretty rough. All right, so I will do a little cleanup. This will be it for the week for big. If I get motivated, I could do one more day. I want to make sure that I do finish this, and I'm thinking I still have at least two sittings, and then the floor and the wall I will save as a surprise. So I could do one more this week, two next week, and then we will finish it off. All right, so that is it. Do all the YouTube things, like, share, comment, and consider subscribing, and thank you so much for coloring with me today. And tomorrow, my fingers are crossed that the Harmonious Castle Arts will get here so that we can color with those in Small Victories. We'll see you then.